What is up, everyone? It's playoff time in the NHL and in the NBA. Welcome to another episode of Instant Replay, your favorite sports podcast. I'm your host, Zohaib Naqvi. This week, we had Owais Ansari come into the studio to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs have made the playoffs, surprising everyone in Toronto here. And we are so excited to have them in the playoffs, and they're putting up one hell of a fight against the number one seed Washington Capitals. Owais and I talk about the season, we talk about the playoffs. Enjoy! Oh, yeah. 100%.
Year.
We've taken a step back.
Yeah. No, we've taken a step back from 2 years ago.
Yeah, totally.
So, I don't know, man. So the first year I think was our best chance at the World Championship. If we had any other coach or general or manager, we'd be okay.
The year Kansas City won?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had all the assets. You know what I mean?
Right.
You had every single asset. You had runners. You had guys that knew how to play small.
You had
small ball.
big-time offensive hitters. Donaldson had his MVP year.
Exactly.
You had the big three. You had the big three
good.
At that point.
Yeah, you had Ben Revere. I think was a huge guy.
Yeah.
For us, they had Dalton Pompey running the bases, which was really good. Anyway, long story short, the Jays pissed me off.
Especially
I actually didn't think they would make playoffs last year.
Yeah.
I thought they got really lucky that they made playoffs last year.
Yeah.
I was disgusted with the team because, again, they're swinging for the fences all the time. So for me, it's a little frustrating to watch because you can't expect to win with every batter going in with the same mindset. You know what I mean?
Totally. Hit it out of the park.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we play softball.
Yeah.
You got to construct runs, man.
Exactly. And even in softball, these guys, most people aren't trying to hit home runs all the time.
Totally.
They're trying to pick the gaps and get the base runners going.
Majority of us can't hit home runs, to
Right.
be quite honest. We just play casually.
Yeah, Owais
Owais can. Owais has a couple out of the park.
Maybe. I mean, just check my softball stats, man.
Easy there, Zlatan.
Nothing to be, nothing
The Lion hit it out of the park.
True.
Speaking of surprises, so obviously, surprises in terms of the playoffs, obviously it is a surprise to me, at least. I don't know if it is to you that the Leafs made the playoffs.
To everyone.
I think people were celebrating in the streets the day we actually clinched the 8th seed or the 7th seed at least. We were the first wild card, and then we dropped down to the second wild card. But we matched up initially against Pittsburgh. I was very worried because Pittsburgh's just a beast. But Washington isn't any scrub. But nonetheless, these 3 games so far have been
incredible.
The most competitive series I've ever seen. And I'm so impressed. Even if they lose, I'm just so impressed by them coming back. Last night, we talked about this. You posted on my Facebook. Can't wait to talk about this tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Coming back from 3-1. That is insane.
Yeah.
To come back, win in OT. That shows you resiliency.
100%.
I don't think anyone expected of the Leafs this year.
No, not at all. Do you know what? So I was actually a skeptic at first when they picked up Babcock, right?
Oh, man. 8-year, $50 million deal. That's his
huge.
deal.
The reason why I said, I was kind of a skeptic with Babcock is because I'm the product that you have right now.
Yeah.
A bunch of lazy guys.
Oh, terrible.
Bunch of lazy guys. And I said, how much can a coach inspire you, right? I know he's one of the best coaches,
of all time. I mean, Detroit
is... You see what he's done? Detroit didn't make playoffs for the first year in 25? Something ridiculous like that.
It's unreal. Their streak is unbelievable. They're like the San Antonio Spurs.
Exactly.
Of the hockey league.
100%.
Perfection.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Every year, they're always 1, 2, 3 seed. They always make it into the playoffs. Whether they win the Stanley Cup or not, just that level of consistency in terms of excellence of making the playoffs.
You appreciate that.
You totally
As a sportsman, you
appreciate
have
that.
to appreciate
You
that.
have to. Anyone, even if you hate the Detroit Red Wings,
100%.
you got to appreciate it.
Yeah.
So from my standpoint, I was watching the game yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know what your reaction was so it was 3-1. I tuned in when it was 3-1, so I had missed the first period. So we were down 2-1 at the end of the first, and then they scored another one, 3-1.
Yeah.
So I tuned in then into the Leafs game. For some reason, I just didn't think it was over. Like most Leafs games, because I'd watched game 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Right? So I was just like, something can happen. I mean, the same time, we were leading 2-0 in game 1, right? And then they came back and they won 3-2 in the OT.
Right.
So for some reason, to me, I was just like, wait a second. And also, I made this... I was actually watching a bunch of games at the same time, like the Nashville game, Ottawa versus the Bruins.
Incredible series.
That's an awesome series,
such a
too.
good series.
But if you actually notice, what's odd is, and this seems to be a trend, and maybe this is the only me picking this up, or maybe I'm looking too far into it, but every time the home team played for the first time at home, okay? So I'm talking game 1.
Yeah.
The home team goes down and they come back. Okay, so game 1, Washington, down 2-0, they came back to win. Okay, last night in the Bruins' first game, home, Ottawa scored first, Bruins came back to win, right? I think the same thing happened in Nashville and Chicago, and then Chicago, when they went to Nashville, same thing, 1-8 seed, again. So for me, I think it's like a nerves thing when a playoff plays when the team plays their first playoff game at home. I don't know what you think about that.
To a certain extent, I can agree. I was kind of disappointed with Washington's play, actually, because,
no, as a Leafs fan.
As a Leafs fan, no, but as a hockey fan,
yeah,
very disappointed because
1 seed.
Yeah, you're the first seed, and on top of that, you've been in the playoffs for like since like pretty much.
They always make the playoffs.
They always make the playoffs. They always round 2 exit, whatever. But this should have been a breeze for them.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Considering the fact that they have probably one of the more complete teams.
Yeah, 100%.
Braden Holtby he's a stud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that much. That guy is an incredible goalie. That guy was bailing him out. This entire series is a goalie battle, in my opinion, not so much offense. It's a
I could not
battle.
agree with you more. Honestly, watching the 2 goalies is like, it's great, but it's also cringing.
It is.
In the sense that, oh my God, how much more can this guy do?
Exactly.
You know what
100%.
I mean? Yeah, like it's so, to me, it's just like watching the Leafs for some reason this year, and I don't watch a lot of hockey, but I've always tuned in like when the games that matter. So that's really few over the last little while.
Yeah,
over the last little while. So this is like me catching up on hockey, and I'm watching like every single game. Super fast game.
Super fast, that's true.
And I'm shocked at how good the Leafs are playing at that pace. Like they're playing like they don't belong as the 8th seed. They're playing like they belong as a much higher seed.
100%.
I don't think I don't think Washington expected them to play like this.
You know what? At the same time, I'm gonna say they're a lot younger of a team. I don't know what the average. I think the average age is around like 23 or something like that.
Totally.
So when it comes down to it, the fact that they're playing overtime, right? These kids are still pretty youthful in comparison to the older guys on Washington, right?
Totally.
So I feel like they still have the edge over.
You think that might be it?
I think that's definitely it. But the fact that they're even surviving till overtime, especially, I'm gonna say this right now. Anderson is literally the truth. He's the truth.
He's the truth.
Because
Paul Pierce of hockey.
He's the no.
We don't like Paul Pierce.
We hate Paul Pierce.
Oh, we hate Paul Pierce.
He's a Raptor killer, and he's just the biggest. I'm not even gonna say a man that goes out in a wheelchair, comes back, and
you're a big hater, man.
Don't get me wrong. I respect him.
Yeah,
he's a great player.
Yeah, but you hate the way he goes about things.
Him.
Right.
Fair
enough. No, that's fair. There's a lot of players like that. A lot of fans will say they don't like LeBron for flopping.
No, for sure. And I used to be a LeBron hater, but I respect him so much.
But you gotta respect him.
You got
Same thing in Cristiano Ronaldo.
100%.
Everyone hates him flopping.
I don't hate him.
I don't either.
Ronaldo,
I'm a huge Ronaldo fan. I got a jersey upstairs.
Really?
But for me, it's like, is he producing?
Yeah.
You can't argue. For the last decade,
he's
been producing. It's the same thing here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Anderson going into the off season.
Yeah.
So let me give you a little bit of background. So I'm coming from I'm legit probably the most passionate Muslim fan there probably ever was.
Okay.
I'm telling you that straight up right now.
Okay.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna give you a little background.
Yeah, sure.
So when I was a kid, I was brought up in Ajax, and it's a very white neighborhood at the time.
Yeah.
Right. So that
totally.
kind of put me into that whole hockey.
Yeah. Hockey's not well.
It's a pretty big hockey city actually.
Yeah.
A lot of
fair
top
enough.
players like Matt Duchene, who plays on Colorado right now. He's from
Ajax
as well.
Cool.
And a lot of the programs there is pretty good as well for
cool.
hockey. But anyway, one of our teachers from my elementary school, she was like married to retired Leaf, Steve Thomas.
Oh wow.
So from there we used to get a lot of giveaways, you know, for like fundraisers
nice.
and
Proper.
stuff like that. So that, I mean, and again, we loved hockey, so I started playing a little bit here and there. And then my uncle actually got me this. They had like this CD package.
Yeah.
For like softwares.
Yeah.
So it had like NHL 99, NBA
Nice.
Live 99,
Nice.
NHL 99, greatest game
Gotcha. Of all time.
of all time.
Okay.
Intro incredible.
Okay.
Anyway, so the funny thing is, I was actually a Habs fan first, and
Oh no.
and it's not because at that time I actually didn't know what the NHL was. I
Ah.
just knew that these guys played hocky, and I saw
Right.
Canadians.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is a Canadian team, so
You
I
gotcha.
I
You
have
jumped
to.
on.
Yeah. So the guys like Patrice Brisebois and like Brian Savage, you probably won't even know
No.
these names.
Yeah, go
Jocelyn
ahead.
Thibault. So anyway, so once I found out, you know, you're supposed to be supporting Toronto, that's when I started playing as Toronto. That's when they had
Right.
Cujo, Matt Sundin, and I think that's the year they made the playoffs with against Buffalo, and then I think they exited first round or something like
Probably. I don't think we've gotten deep into playoffs in a long time.
that. In a long time. So anyway, that era was gold for the Leafs because like, you had Matt Sundin, Gary Roberts, all these
Legends
like,
for the
legends
Leafs.
for
Yeah.
the Leafs, like Darcy Tucker,
Darcy
Brian McCabe.
Tucker, the enforcer.
Yeah, for sure, man. Ty Domi.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
Ty
Sergei
Domi.
Berezin. There's so many names that I can just kind of put out there, and
Yeah.
you just be like, nostalgia. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And with that being said, you know, as a kid, you can't really control your emotions.
Right.
So, and it's sad. I couldn't control my emotions up until like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Right, right.
So it really took a heavy toll on me. Like if
Gotcha.
the Leafs lost, like I could win the lottery the day of a Leafs
But
game.
the Leafs
If
lost.
they lost, I swear, I'm not even kidding you. I was
Just-
depressed.
Oh no.
I was a very depressed kid.
That's
because
terrible,
of the
man.
Leafs, and that's how much I used to take it upon myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I did something
Yeah, I've
wrong
been
during
there.
the day.
Man, I've been there too. Like
know?
there's certain teams that you attach that to. Like when I say I'm a LeBron fan, I'm toned down now.
Yeah?
Like, when LeBron was back in Cleveland before he went to Miami, back in
Right.
Cleveland, and he got knocked out by Orlando, and he got knocked out by Boston. Man,
It was hurt. It hurt,
it-
right? I used
tears
to cry.
were
I
ready
used
to roll.
cry.
Yeah, tears were ready to roll.
I'm not ashamed.
You know what I mean? No,
Yeah.
not at all, man. Sports and tears,
Yeah.
hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
They go hand in hand.
Oh,
It's manly to cry
yeah,
for sports.
100%. But anyway, like after a while, you kind of get tired of like that whole. Legit, it kind of has an effect on you. So
Yeah.
I kind of, you know, I didn't like the product. Actually,
Yeah.
I made an you know how you're passionate about these podcasts, you know,
Yeah,
like talking
yeah.
about these things. I was passionate about the Leafs at the time at
Sure.
the same level. So
Sure.
I used to actually, I made this entire like essay,
Yeah.
like a statistical analysis, and this like sort of.
What grade were you? Like put a
This is
rough
like
grade.
this is actually second year uni. This is like
Oh wow.
recent.
Oh, this is like recent.
This is recent because
Okay.
I was like, this is the year that they actually just lost to Boston.
Oh,
Game 7. And then
heartbreaking. I
and
remember
then
that really well. The collapse.
the
We'll refer to
off-season-
the collapse. The Game 7.
That didn't get through to the net. Might have hit Brad Marchand. Here's Bergeron with a shot. Rebound is loose. Sagan can't get it. Score! Brad Marchand!
The team that we had there,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to compare the teams that we have right
Sure.
now
Sure.
versus the team that we had over
Cool.
there.
Cool.
And so the team that we had in Boston,
Right.
in 2013 or whatever, I think we actually had pretty decent like our defense was probably the best we've had in a long time.
Okay.
Goalie, decent. He
Right.
got us to the playoffs.
Right.
Reimer was also the truth at the time, right?
Right.
The only issue we had that season was that, you know, again, in my opinion, the forwards were too lazy
Okay.
in the sense that they wouldn't back check.
This is
Right.
Phil Kessel.
This is Phil Kessel. This is JVR. We're talking Lupul. We're talking every single forward you could think of.
Okay. Okay.
On the Leafs, definitely wouldn't back check, right? Now, the difference that you see in this team, I think in terms of skill level,
Yeah.
we have the kids are like this team this year is a little bit better in terms of skill,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm not going to take anything away from that
That
team
team?
because
Fair
they had
enough.
a lot of skill. They had Grabowski, Kulemin, you know, Kessel, great player. I
Okay.
don't have anything against Kessel. He did what he could, right?
Yeah.
You know,
And he's still
Kadri
doing
was still
well
young.
in
Oh, for sure.
Pittsburgh.
Matt Fratton. There was like a bunch of really, really good, talented players on Lupul, like
Right.
incredible players too. So there was no problem with offensive arsenal. It was just they wouldn't back check. This team, I feel, are more polished. in the sense that, okay, you could tell now the difference between the coaches. Our penalty kill that year was awful, I'm pretty sure. The thing, at the end of the day, what I can see in terms of the coaching difference between, let's say, like a Randy Carlyle or a Ron Wilson versus
Patrick Quinn.
Pat Quinn. Even Pat Quinn was actually pretty decent, I would say.
Okay.
But in terms of the coaching, he keeps players accountable for, the things that they mess up on, right?
Right.
And as I think the difference between the two teams, we have Carlisle, who's trying to put guys that have already proven themselves in their career, right? Like older guys are less likely to change, in my opinion, because they have like that thing. Okay, well, they can't really be molded anymore because they've already shown their potential, right? And they expect to be played on a nightly basis, on the same sort of way. And if not, then it creates some sort of conflict, right? Yep. So again, the average age of the Leafs right now is 23 or something like that.
Got to be one of the youngest.
Right. It is probably the youngest. And on top of that, like Babcock has always been a coach that's been really, really good for the youth. And I'm going to say that because Detroit, for example, if you look at Detroit, their entire farm team is what's playing now, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, Babcock, yes, he had a good team, but he also had to coach a lot of these young kids trying to make it to the NHL as well.
It's kind of this idea that he's able to build a culture from day one. Like he needs players at ground zero.
Exactly. And
to
he
build
builds
this,
them up.
Instill those values, those requirements of whatever it takes to be a Leaf.
Exactly.
And then he can progress them. So like, you cannot ask for a better player than Austin Matthews, who comes straight out of the draft, comes to Mike Babcock. He could not be happier.
All I'm gonna say about that is 4 goals on the first day. Austin Matthews, I'm gonna give this guy a chance.
And you watched the first game.
I watched the first game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I got so emotional that day. Me and my dad both sat there.
Oh, your dad's a big Leafs fan too?
My dad is like a huge Leafs fan as well, but he's like more because Owais loves the Leafs, so I love him too.
Gotcha.
But don't get me wrong. He's been to numerous Leafs games. He was actually there in 2000. Was it 2002 or 2001 where we played Ottawa, and he was there for Game 7 where Sundin scored this like clapper for an overtime winner to move on face, I think, was it New York or was it Philadelphia?
Insane,
but it was he's a big fan too. So anyway, we're watching this and we're like so shocked because you never think that somebody's ever gonna, like, 19 years old, you're coming into the league, and first shot, pretty sure it was his first shot too. It was some sort of backhand and he scores this goal. So we're like, oh, okay, this is great. Goal right away.
Yeah.
And then he scores another one.
And
then another one.
And then it's a hat trick. Can't get better.
Exactly. And you're just sitting there in shock. You're like, what?
Who is this guy?
Exactly.
We still lost the game.
We did, but it was totally okay to Leafs fans, okay? We were okay with it because we saw 4 goals from the guy who's going to lead us to a Stanley Cup. Yeah. I'm saying it right. I think we have a great shot of winning the Stanley Cup right now. And if we win the Cup this year, you heard it here first, okay? Because I'm believing. Okay. I'm believing. Okay. So when it comes down
we should throw away I had a question coming up.
Go for
that
it.
would have been like, who's gonna win the Stanley Cup? I feel like you're
Toronto.
Just
I have an entire. So my friends were actually asking because they know most of my friends are all basketball fans. I think within the Desi community, there's not many people.
There's a lot of basketball fans within the Desi community.
There's also hockey fans, but they're not really. You can't really find them. You have to like really search hard.
Yeah. I agree with you.
So anyway, my basketball friends, they all have work and they have like those brackets going on, and everybody messages me. They're like, "Oh, wait, so who should we choose?"
Right.
And I'm like, well, you know what? I put my money on the Leafs.
And
okay.
They're like, okay, you're useless.
They're like,
man.
"Oh, you're useless."
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, Pittsburgh's gonna repeat." I'm like, they have a great chance, but I'm just gonna say right now, I'm predicting.
We gotta go through Pittsburgh if we want to.
We do, and if we can manhandle Washington, which
we're not manhandling.
We're
Washington.
manhandling them.
No, we're not.
Okay, we're not.
We're not manhandling it. It's very dead even.
It is.
So apparently the coach of Washington Capitals came out and said publicly, at the end of Game 3, meaning last night, he came out and said, "You have yet to see our best performance. Game 4 will 100%. Be our best performance."
And if that's any indication for the Leafs to start prepping as well, it's gonna show a lot of character for the Leafs to kind of keep a mental sort of their mental what do you call it? Their mindset right now.
Yeah.
Should not change because that's just kind of threats, right? It's kind of like opening the air. So every game's 50-50 at the end of the day. We all know that. That's always in sports, but I think he's trying to get to the heads of the younger guys.
Yeah.
If he could get to their heads, potentially,
8 years, $50 million to this guy seems like in 8 years we may actually get a Stanley Cup.
Well, that's
one of those 8 years.
That's what we're banking on, right?
We just need one.
We just need one. That's it.
Just
and
need
we'll
one,
remember it
and
for the next 50 years.
We're good for 50 years. I have my
on
buddy who's the other co-host who's just constantly like, why doesn't Toronto have a Stanley Cup? Because I always make fun of him.
Yeah.
And, you know, Orlando has nothing, but
and
Miami does. And he's like, look at Miami. We still have something in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, like, we don't. He's like,
How do you
don't you
respond
guys
to that?
own hockey? And I'm like, yeah. And he always brings up Chicago winning the cup. And I'm like, listen, man, they're all Canadians.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
So
going to
it's
say
at
about
the end of the day,
that.
it's the same thing. He's like, but they play for Chicago. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well. But realistically, we just need to win one. And clearly, if he's making this progress in year 2, where he's competing so well that he's competing against the first seed as an 8 seed.
Right.
If he can get the right pieces, a few more pieces, you know, groom this talent to be a little bit better. Obviously, they're all at like if there was a curve of where their peak is, they're at the bottom of that slope,
For sure.
right? And so, you know, what is it that he's doing in your opinion?
Again, like I said, he's really good at molding players.
Yeah, you
right?
think it's the culture, eh?
It's the culture, and again, it's to keep the kids accountable for like the things that they do, right?
Totally.
So you couldn't get Kessel to come back and backtrack no matter what you did, right? He's too busy eating hot dogs. No offense.
Right.
Kessel, I love Kessel. He's great, but I'm
think
sorry, he's just too lazy. in
Phil
my
Kessel,
opinion.
if you're listening to that,
I still
take
love
offense.
you. I
Take
still
offense.
love you. Anyway, so again, and it's also the fact that you know, when you have a proven coach,
Yeah, then everyone's gonna fall in line.
everyone's gonna fall in love with
He's
you.
like the Phil Jackson.
100%.
Or
But again,
Greg Pop. Yeah,
again, it's also that thing. There's gonna be friction with the older players because
totally.
you know, it's hard to mold people who are already molded, right?
Well, I feel like that's why they got rid of Phil
and
Kessel.
yeah, 100%. And again, Joffrey Lupul, why is he not playing anymore? I know he has some sort of injuries or whatever, but I don't think he wasn't needed.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And again, like I said, they're playing the forwards, back checking. Austin Matthews' face-off percentage was one of the best in the league, especially for a rookie. He was probably the best.
Right.
And that's huge because you can rely on a
He's
guy.
hands down Rookie of the Year, right?
Hands down. Calder, that's his.
Yeah.
Or
So who's better, Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews?
right now,
Because at the start of the season, right? At the start of the season, when I was listening to the draft stuff, because the Leafs had the number 1 pick, everyone was saying, okay, this guy's great. This guy's amazing. But he is no Connor McDavid.
that's 100% true. Sorry.
How do you know that, man? He's 1 year in. Have you
seen-
No, I haven't. Has Connor McDavid in his first year made that much of an impact that he did too? That Austin Matthews did? Did he carry his team to the playoffs?
I have to give no, but you have to understand that one, the product that we have over here in Toronto was very different than the product that you had in Edmonton.
It was
right?
worse?
It was I think in terms of goaltending and in terms, actually, you know what? There's a little bit of similarities, I guess.
Okay.
But the only thing is, coaching was god awful in.
Yeah, totally. I buy that.
And another thing with Edmonton, unfortunately, is that they've been through the injury bug every single season. Like, they'll get the first round pick, but that first round pick will get injured.
Right.
Connor McDavid, his first year, he was doing incredible things.
Yeah.
But he got injured.
Oh, wow.
Right. And that's why.
Well,
his
this year
first season wasn't.
they're in the playoffs.
This season, didn't he get the most points?
I think
I'm
he
pretty
did
sure
get the most
he won the
points.
league in terms of
Yeah, let me just
scoring.
double-check. I mean,
You watch him play. Just watch Connor McDavid play, and you're gonna be in awe because he is one of the fastest guys. He's probably the fastest guy in the league, and just the things that he does, like he has such great hockey IQ. Okay, that's another thing. Babcock is great at teaching this game where you kind of see the bigger picture, right? The little things are polished, but the bigger picture is what's more important to Babcock, right? And you see that in Austin Matthews' game. I don't think Austin Matthews has incredible, like...
Sorry, he played 82 games and he has 100 points.
100 points. And that's huge in this league. Because 100 points...
Damn.
In this...
Connor McDavid.
Day and age...
He's baller.
He's a baller. He's great. He's the perfect... I would say the perfect player. I think he's arguably... He's not as good as Crosby... In my opinion, yes.
Right.
But he can definitely.
But he's so young. It's kind of weird. Like, this is the same thing that people do in sports in general.
Yeah,
compare when someone's in year 1 to someone who's been there for 13 years.
Yeah, but I'm talking strictly like rookie wise.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, but Connor McDavid is something else. He's special to watch. But as I was saying,
hey man, don't discount Austin Matthews.
I'm not. I'm totally not. I think he's great, but there's definitely. I'm gonna tell you, Austin Matthews is a very all-round player in the sense that. I don't think he has an incredible shot.
Right.
I don't think he's incredibly fast, or he doesn't. He's a big body for sure, but his hockey IQ, his offensive IQ, his defensive IQ is so good that it makes him that better player, right? And to see that maturity in his game at such a young age is really refreshing, right? So a lot of guys can have all the tools in the world. They could be the biggest body, or they could have this. They could be the fastest guy with the best shot, etc., etc., etc. Like Patrick Laine, for example. I'm gonna call him out. I think he's an incredible player. I think he has an incredible shot, but after that,
nothing else.
Nothing really else,
Cricket.
right? It's just he gets a puck, he's gonna shoot. Austin Matthews, he can set up plays. He can make plays happen. You know what I mean? He knows what to do when he doesn't have the puck. He knows what to do if, he knows how to back check. That's what I'm saying. Like every single thing that you could think of that you learn maybe 3-4 years into the league, the little things. I feel like he knows right now.
Foundation right now.
Right.
And I mean, it helps to have Mike Babcock kind of backing that up.
Exactly.
What's funny is I read an article before this podcast of the fact that Mike Babcock hadn't complimented his team until last night's performance.
Really?
He hadn't said anything good about his team in general. Like, he's a hard coach to impress. He hadn't said anything good about his team until last night, where he said, yeah, we played well and we looked good from a depth standpoint. That's all he said. Not even like we killed it, we loved, we got what we needed, anything like that. Like, his expectations are pretty high for these guys.
They're always going to be high, for sure.
And I don't think I think I like it that way. As 100%. A fan, I love seeing coaches that expect the most. Like, Pop is the same way in basketball. He expects he's like, what do you mean? It's his job. It's his job to go and drop 30 points, Kawhi. It's nothing special. You know what I mean? It's the same mindset. It's like all these great coaches, they've earned that respect, and so naturally they're able to compel players to actually play at a higher level.
For sure.
Okay, I want to get your take on some of these series, okay?
Sure.
Boston, Ottawa.
Ottawa's going to take it. I really like that series.
Really?
I think I've watched every game, and it's been an entertaining series.
It's like just like the Leafs series.
It's Leafs and Leafs and Caps. Oh my God! But this one in particular gets me a little bit emotional because I'm a huge fan of Erik Karlsson.
Okay.
Shout out to Erik Karlsson.
Okay.
And also, as much as I hated Phaneuf on Toronto, I understand I understand what type of player he is, and I really respect him.
Yeah.
And he's done great for Ottawa as well, so I'm happy that he's doing great there.
Does this happen in hockey all the time? Because I don't watch enough playoffs, but does this happen on hockey where the 8th seed, like in how in like basketball, if you're the 8th seed, you're probably gonna lose. Right? But clearly that's not the case in this conference, and that's not the case in the other conference.
No.
Nashville is beating the crap out of Chicago.
And I like Chicago a lot too, so it's kind of scary.
Everyone likes Chicago, man. Yeah. Like, how is that happening? I don't understand. So who do you have in that series?
Do you know what? Well, you know what? It's 3-0 now.
Okay.
So
But is that
really
weird?
Hard. It is. To be honest, it's very weird.
Is that like common, like in hockey? Just explain to me if that's common in hockey, because I'm thinking here, like, this is like in basketball when the Dallas Mavericks in 2000 whatever lost to the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if you remember Baron Davis's team way back when Monte Ellis was really good. That was like considered one of the greatest upsets of all time in the playoffs. I don't know if this gets classified as that, but this is one hell of a accomplishment for a team. And what's weird is it's happening on both sides of the conference. Yeah. I don't understand. Explain to me, please.
To be honest, like every playoffs, you're gonna have some sort of like upsets, right?
Yeah.
To see that many is a little weird, to be honest.
They're both the 8 seeds, bro.
Yeah, but LA at one point they were the 8th seed and they actually won the cup.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotcha.
And
so it's not uncommon in hockey.
Exactly. And then again, hockey is, I think,
I'd like to say it's never happened in basketball, but I have to check. Right. It's like never happened in basketball. Well, I'm almost certain.
Because here's the difference. I feel like in basketball, you have like maybe 7 guys that usually play the entire game. So you can easily rely on those guys. But in hockey, you have almost 4 lines deep, right?
Yeah, totally.
So it's more of an entire team effort, right? Yeah. Where you got to rely on more bodies.
Totally.
And more bodies definitely generally means like more liability, right?
Gotcha.
So I think with that being said,
that series is done, eh?
That series is done.
Okay.
I feel bad, but
let me ask you, since former Habs fan, Habs taking on New York.
To be honest, I'm gonna say I actually predicted New York to win.
Okay. What?
I did. I actually predicted New York to win, but if the Habs pull through, then I'll be pretty happy for that. Like, Habs and Ottawa should be the next round.
Okay, fair enough. Finally, some Canadian. When's the last time a Canadian It's been a while, eh?
It's been a while.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. Last time the Canadian Stanley Cup.
Very, very long ago.
Very,
it's probably
very
the
long
Habs,
time
the
ago,
last
right?
one that was it.
But
The
it's
Habs.
just Canadians keep winning. It's just not a Canadian team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just for the viewers.
Yeah, just for the American listeners
sorry.
out there.
Yeah.
Don't get too happy with yourselves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What about? So we talked about Connor. Connor taking on San Jose.
Connor's winning.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
But so he's gonna lock that up.
It's money.
Okay.
San
Calgary?
Jose had their shots a long time ago.
Yeah,
They're
they're time
dusters
passed.
now. Get
Yeah.
out of here. We don't want to see you choke anymore.
Calgary, Anaheim.
Calgary's done. Getzlaf and Perry, like one of my favorite. Like they're two incredible players. You can't really do anything about them.
Yeah. Okay.
They just don't have the depth to beat a team like Anaheim.
I don't even want to ask the Pittsburgh one because we both know what's gonna happen there.
Pittsburgh,
their powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota,
I actually want to make a really quick statement. I genuinely have no respect for John Tortorella. He's the coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay. Why
He
is
literally
that?
changes teams to be like the most gooniest of teams. They literally go after the best players and do like really cheap things,
dirty stuff,
dirty tricks and stuff like that. It kind of really ticked me off. Last game, the game's about to end.
Yeah.
And they start to pick a fight with Malkin. Like right after the game's done. Like the game's done. Get the hell out of here. Like you guys suck. Like we don't need to see your faces around here. We don't want to see losers in the playoffs right now. And another game we saw that they were targeting one of their better players. Like this one guy.
Yeah.
Probably was asked by Tortorella to target. Sucker punched him from behind, knocked him down, and kept going at him. Like these are things that you should be suspended on.
Yeah, totally.
No suspension, just a fine.
What?
Shit, like
You throw a punch in basketball and it doesn't even connect, and you're suspended.
You're suspended, exactly. No, well, hockey's a different game, but like I
think
it's
that's
a blindside punch.
Totally right. Bad sport comparison.
I'm disappointed. Well, you kind of expect that from a guy like that, to be honest. But
who do you have winning each conference?
So I actually predict
who's in the Stanley Cup.
So Stanley Cup is Toronto and St. Louis.
Outside of Toronto, who's in the Stanley Cup?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
You kidding me?
I'm serious.
Clearly, I don't watch enough hockey because I'm in awe of your answer right now.
Okay, well,
is that like if you said that to a real big hockey fan, they'd be like, yeah, that makes sense to me.
To be honest, like
that's not like a outside.
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the Western Conference is very, very competitive.
Totally.
And any team from those 8 could easily make the cup because they're all so, like, in terms of depth.
Oh, it's
they're
like
so
East is
rich.
Weaker than the West type thing.
Yes, like I would say Columbus, like you kind of expected it.
Yeah.
Even though they had a hell of a season. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The Leafs, for example, you wouldn't. They're doing great right now, and they're gonna make the cup. They're gonna win the cup, but
sure. That's funny.
The Leafs, you don't really expect to be one of those like top teams, right?
Right.
So in the Eastern Conference, you maybe have 3-4 teams that are
Sure.
really, really good. Like even Boston and Ottawa aren't that great either in comparison to the other powerhouses.
Right.
I think Pittsburgh and Washington are the 2 teams that really stand out in the East, right?
Totally agree.
Every team in the Western
Leafs.
Conference, except for maybe Calgary,
Right.
are contenders. So with that being said, I think out of all of those teams,
You're picking St. Louis.
I'm picking St. Louis.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Over Connor McDavid.
Over Connor. See, that's the thing. Because Edmonton has this weird sort of curse on them. As much as I want them to make the finals.
Hey, man, we have a curse on us.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore?
Look,
We've broken that curse?
Listen.
Oasis has uplifted the curse?
We've broken the curse. If for any reason the Leafs lose this series, it was Zobi's fault, not mine.
What? No.
And
you jinxed them, buddy. They're winning the Stanley Cup.
No, and no, but you know what we should do? Even despite everything, they should build a statue of Babcock
already
on top of the CN Tower,
Dude,
just looking over the city.
We have 8 years.
No, he's looking over the city. He already
we have
brought
8
us
years.
from Promised Land.
6 more.
We do have 6 more years.
We got 6 more years. We're gonna get one. It's gonna be one of them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you one last thing
Yeah.
about the Leafs. Their farm team is incredible. I think they've been consistently like one of the best teams.
When you say farm team, you mean the Marlies?
The Marlies.
Right? Okay,
they've been incredible as well, and they have. When I say that, if we lose players, we still have players in the bag. I'm serious. So you know how Chicago had this incredible dynasty thing going on?
Yeah.
That's kind of what the Leafs are transitioning into, in my opinion, because we're so rich in terms of our depth.
Gotcha.
Right. So look forward to being a Leafs fan. I'd
For the
say
next
hop
6
on that
years,
bang.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be
hop on
pretty
that
good.
bandwagon.
Okay, I'm excited, man. I'm gonna hop on right now. I'm on it. I've watched the first 3 games of playoffs. Win or lose, to be quite honest, I've been very impressed. They've won me over. They've got more fight right now than even the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, we saw game 1. Game 2 is happening
I
right now.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So okay, so let's do this segment. We like to get to know our guests a little bit more
Sure.
outside of sports. Favorite musician,
Drake.
favorite actor,
Steve Carell.
favorite song. You said Drake, so I'm curious to know what your favorite song is. Is it actually Drake?
I don't. You know what? I'm gonna say that I don't really have a favorite artist, but the one that bumped the most, it has to be Drake by far.
Favorite TV show.
The Office.
Favorite.
Oh no, I take that back.
Okay.
Naruto.
Really? You're an anime
Naruto,
guy.
I'm just Naruto. That is
Okay.
the greatest show ever. That's all I gotta say.
Favorite food.
Nihari.
Oh, really? You're a Desi boy. Nice. Okay. Favorite movie.
Jurassic Park. There's no comparison to any other movie.
That's so funny.
Greatest movie ever.
1, 2, or 3? Just
The
one.
first one. The
Yeah,
first
didn't
one.
like the other two?
Second one was pretty good, I would say. A lot of people hated
World?
it. Yeah. I read the
No,
book
how'd you like
as
The
well.
World?
The World was good. I'm not gonna be honest. Like when I read the book, and then I watched the movie again, although I've watched the movie like 7,000 times. Definitely, I think I got a new sort of sense of appreciation for it. So.
No, I'm talking Jurassic World.
Oh, Jurassic World was
Yeah.
awful, man.
So
okay, no,
You
don't.
really didn't like it? Oh,
The first time, it's a great entertaining movie. You know
that's
what I
what
mean?
it's meant to be.
Yeah, but I like movies that kind of you remember after and you can watch over and over and over again. I can only watch that once and then be like, okay, there's no real depth to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
With Jurassic Park, you got quotables on quotables.
Gotcha.
You got this entire. You basically, you basically given the world this entirely new concept,
Gotcha.
right? And just the cinematics, the animatronics with the CGI, which was totally
State of the art.
State of the art
Still
at that
can
time.
compete now.
Exactly.
To be quite honest, it was unreal.
There's so many things I could say about that movie that I just kind of I'm baffled, and I keep reading up on it and like how they created the movie in general.
Gotcha.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
We just need a moment of silence.
Just clap in silence.
Slow clap. You know
Just
the Wise
slow
Hood
clap.
commercials?
Yeah.
Just well done. Greatest movie.
Okay, fair enough. And last 2 questions: LeBron or Kobe?
Kobe. No, you know what? Kobe, because I've been a Kobe fan
That's
for
okay.
a long
That's
time,
okay.
but
I don't
LeBron
mind.
is
I don't know
definitely,
if
in my
you've
opinion,
read.
better.
So today the Players Tribune article came out. I don't know if you read. Basically, him talking about how Allen Iverson dropped 41 on him, and then for the next whatever till he would meet Allen Iverson again at any point in time, he basically just went obsessive. Like he went home, he threw his chair around the hotel room. He would just constantly watch his film, read every single piece of literature written on Allen Iverson to know his inside outside, watched his tape from high school, college, and then the NBA, all of them, to find out exactly what his tendencies were. And then he came back and he faced Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson has 16 in the first half. He comes into the locker room pissed off after the first half, breaks a couple of chairs, comes back out. Allen Iverson scores 0 points.
This is
for the
Kobe?
second half. This is Kobe. Read the article, Players Tribune. It's unreal.
I love the Players Tribune.
Key quote, he's like, at the end of the article, last line in the article, he goes, basically, if I lock into you, he's saying,
Yeah.
I will hunt you obsessively.
Yeah.
It's only natural, period.
Mamba.
Mamba. Okay, fair enough. I respect the guy.
Yeah.
I have no hate.
No,
it's
totally.
Kobe fans that usually hate on LeBron. So
I was a passionate LeBron hater too, but you know what?
That's what I mean.
No, but I'll tell you what. In terms of everything else, I honestly think that LeBron is definitely a superior player. I do agree because he's superhuman. He's superhuman. What can you do? Like the guy's like a beast.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to Kobe, I
Yeah.
just think that he was such a big part of the game.
Totally.
Like every time you shoot a basket or every time you're throwing a paper into a recycling bin, what do you shout? Kobe. There you go.
No, I don't shout that. Anyways.
Okay, well there you
But most people do. I know exactly what
you
you're
know what
talking
I
about.
mean. That's
Yeah.
it's kind of he kind of brought a culture out of
Totally.
the basketball.
Okay, and last question for you.
Sure.
If you could be one athlete in all of sports at any point in time, right? Like historical, active, whatever. Who would that be?
I say myself.
You're
but-
so dumb.
Okay.
You are
okay.
really
No,
dumb.
no.
I'm totally
We're not.
kidding.
Oh my God. Zlatan, stop. Zlatan, stop.
I'm totally kidding. That's a tough question because, again, like I'm conflicted with all my sports. I
all
love
the sports.
every
That's why I
single
gave it
sport.
to you.
That's tough. That is so tough. Yo, you know what?
I'll let you go top 3.
Top 3?
I'll let you actually pick
I would
top 3.
definitely.
So you can go one in
okay.
each sport if you want.
For sure. Okay. I have to be Leo Messi.
Okay.
The recent 2014
Okay.
World Cup final. I have to be there because I'd score goals. That's
Okay.
what I would do.
Okay.
You know, bring it home for the motherland. Even though
I'm not
from
totally
Argentina,
not your
guys.
country.
That's
Anyways,
totally
go on.
not. I would definitely want to be MJ. No, I take that back. I want to be Vince Carter. I just want to know what it's like to fly. Okay.
It's a separate podcast. We should have you on talking about
Vince Carter
I'm not a big Vince Carter fan.
Oh my
guy
God.
who quits on the Raptors.
No, I totally agree. You know, that was
Oh, you
terrible.
just want him because of the skill. Like
The skill. If I
he's
had that
40 years
skill-
old and still dunking.
Yeah.
Like he's like 30.
At one point, he was the most exciting thing about the NBA.
Hands down.
Hands down. And
Hands
that's
down.
why I just want to
no
know
doubt.
what it's like to fly like a...
But why not Michael Jordan? He flew.
He didn't fly like...
Air Jordan.
He did not fly like
Air
Vince.
Jordan.
He did not fly like Vince.
my God.
Nobody can fly like Vince. Nobody ever will fly like Vince, except maybe Giannis. I think he's pretty good at that. But
yeah, that's his length.
that's-
Anyways,
but we're not gonna talk about him.
Okay, fair enough. Anyone else? So we got
And-
Leo, we got Vince, which is weird.
And
who else do we have?
And then I'm going to say Matt Sundin.
Oh, wow.
Matt
Okay.
Sundin, my homeboy.
Okay.
Or maybe Joey Bats. This is too hard of a question
Okay,
because
fair enough.
I want to feel what it was
We'll
like.
give you
hitting
top
that-
4. So we got Matt Sundin and
Matt
Joey Bats.
Sundin
Happy?
in 2001, I think, when they
And
made
Joey
conference
Bats
finals.
when he did the bat flip.
Oh,
Got it.
yes.
Yeah, figured.
I have a crush on him. He's great.
Okay, well, you must be happy because he's back.
Yeah, I'm actually happy, but I'm kind of disappointed at the same time with his lack of effort, I would say.
Fair enough.
But
Well,
I still love him. He's
hopefully
done-
the Jays can turn around,
I hope
take a
so.
page out of the Raptors and the Leafs books and make the playoffs again because it's always exciting to see the playoffs.
It's always
for the
exciting.
Jays.
Always.
Yeah, man.
October, baby.
Well, thank you so much, Owais, for coming on to the podcast. We
Thanks so much
appreciate
for
you
having
coming
me.
on. Always
A lot of
fun
fun.
talking to a Toronto native fan.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you're a fan of all the sports.
Every single sport.
So we might have you on to the podcast when the Jays come around a little bit more. Hopefully they can turn things around. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. All right, guys. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that podcast. Owais was a lot of fun, and he's a natural Toronto fan. And so for us, it's always a pleasure talking to other Toronto fans. All right. Tune in next week, guys, when we talk about the NBA playoffs. See you guys.